Good tidings, good people of this lovely planet. Eric and Mark here with you guys for another episode of League Unlock. We hope you have had time to digest all the insane amount of information and news that Riot had at their 10-year anniversary event. People thought it would just be TFT updates, Mark. It wasn't.
No way. We got way more than just the TFT update. This was about 10 years worth of announcements coming out straight out of the gates of Riot Games. And yes, I say Riot Games, finally putting that S there with a major capitalization on that S here with quite an amazing announcement here with a huge slate of games coming our way.
Yeah, let's start with those new titles. Obviously still going to be in that League of Legends universe, at least with some of the characters. They got a new shooter game. By the way, all these basically have placeholder names, project, insert letter afterwards. But this shooter, obviously, gonna draw some comparison to Overwatch because it's gonna be class-based with unique abilities. I mean, Apex Legends was like that as well. This is just kind of the theme and way things are going for FPS games.
Right, I think it's very clear here in the language that they were talking about that they're looking for kind of the tactical shooter in that sense of combining Overwatch with, say, something like a Counter-Strike. You have that crisp, reliable, tactical gunplay that you have with Counter-Strike, and then they're combining it with kind of these character-based elements, abilities that you would see in a game like an Overwatch. And man, this is quite a way to start off with these game announcements because this combines a lot of things that people like about two of some of the most popular eSport titles.
And I don't really know if this is supposed to be a character from League. I'm not getting what character it is. I mean, Akali has blades like that. I don't know. Maybe they have new characters. It definitely looks like that'll be the case. Keep in mind, by the way, most of these games, they're not coming out anytime soon. It's still a year, multiple years away, but it's just exciting to see all these announcements. It's not just Overwatch that they're taking away from Blizzard or trying to take away. We got a card game coming as well, Legends of Rune, Terra, and it looks, it takes the best from Magic games and Hearthstone as well, and this one will be featuring a lot of the characters and heroes from League of Legends.
Yeah, I think you can easily tell by kind of the appearance of it and the look of it. They've borrowed a lot of things from other games in this type of genre. I think that's unavoidable at this point, but especially here, combining it with the lore and champions and characters of League of Legends does bring that certain factor in. And again, this is something that you talk to people that haven't necessarily been involved with playing League in quite a while on Summoner's Rift, but have been keeping up with the game or have been with the game for a long time, and they look at something like this and they say that, hey, this is a game, a different type of game. It's not Summoner's Rift. This is something that does interest me here, but it's also got that tie-in, that connection back to League and all those memories that you might have with those type of champions. This is something that looks pretty darn awesome to me and something that I can say for sure, hey, I'm gonna be signing up for this one and I look forward to seeing you all out there.
Yeah, and it's similar to TFT in regards that you have the people who just love League of Legends and will play any intellectual property that have those characters, and you're also bringing people over from other genres. We know how hugely popular these digital card games are, and I mean, Auto Chess was as well when TFT came out. The big news, it should be free. They're saying the packs are free. It's just about however many times, the more you play, the better packs you're gonna get, which, as we know, when new expansions come out for Hearthstone, you're paying a pretty penny.
Hey, to hear about that, it's not going to cost anything. This makes it sound pretty darn great. And again, of course, signups are on right now. People go right ahead, sign up for this thing, and get yourself started.
PlayRuneTerra.com. Shout out to them. We're plugging them on our show, so really Riot Games owes us.
Hey, gotta send us that money.
Yeah, that's exactly what they're looking for. Obviously, there were some smaller teases as well. We had already heard about this fighting game, which was really one of the few things we actually heard about coming into this event, was that fighting game that was announced at EVO a couple of months ago. And also we had a tiny clip, this is a fighting game, and this tiny clip here of what appears to be a Diablo-esque game. And we're just showing these on repeat because they really didn't have that many highlights of them. But if there's a Diablo over-the-top game, I'm hyped for that.
Man, even that's the crazy thing is you look at this and you see the fighting game and you're like, man, that actually looks really crisp. And again, seeing Darius and Ari, you're like, yeah, League of Legends characters in this. I can really picture myself playing it. And then you see that next clip and you're like, oh boy, we're getting right into something.
They stuck that one in.
Hey, an action RPG like a Diablo, something like that, dungeon crawling in a League of Legends universe with the League of Legends champions. That is exactly what I want, and I think that's the type of thing that we could one day be leading down the road to the eventual holy grail of the League of Legends MMO. But that might be a couple of 10-year anniversaries
That's the 20-year
away.
anniversary.
Right, but
Yeah.
hey, right now I will take what we're seeing, and it looks pretty darn awesome.
And I mean, these kinds of titles are huge. For esports, obviously, League is still right at the forefront, but if you're getting there with a competitive FPS game, a fighting game, getting to that community, and as well a card game, which, esports are touchy with the RNG factors, but Riot's looking to get a monopoly on literally every single genre.
Almost every one of these games that was presented could be something that could bloom into an esports type of title here. And I think the important thing again here, when you're talking about the integrity of these things, they did talk about it with the first-person shooter. Big time against the cheaters here, looking to stomp that out. These games are ready for esports.
Yeah, I mean, all the announcements, they were kind of covering the points that people wanted to hear, and the games didn't start there. You know that Football Manager, NFL GM, some of the most popular games, well, now it's here for esports. You can be your own coach, manager. You'll be planning pick ban, strategizing the macro. Finally, coaches from Reddit. This is your time to shine and show that you can apply to be on teams, because I'm challenger in the LoL esports manager game, starting only with the OPL. But this game looks super fun.
This was kind of that dark horse that kind of just crept up on me, and when I first saw them unveil this, I was like, oh man, I thought the only thing that I was really going to be coming out of here going is I need that ARPG of League of Legends. This is something that I absolutely necessarily need in my life right away. This is what I want. This is what you've been dreaming of if you've been watching Pro League of Legends. You watch all these types of matches. This is where you want to put your strategy, your 200 IQ things into action and see if it works. This is the game for you. And again, hey, starting it out with the LPL, can't pick a more exciting league to choose this one.
Yeah, and you could even compare it to some of the 2K games where you're going to have a My Story mode with your individual player following his career, or you're matching up team on team against other squads. So it's going to be very exciting. And like I said, it's starting with just the LPL when they're going to release this, again, sometime 2020, as is the theme with most of these games. Actually, most will probably be 2021.
2020.
But I'm sure other regions will follow after that. And then you got even more games, because as one of the other leaks that were coming into this event, we knew that League of Legends Mobile was inevitable, and I don't think it's that bad, because the main thing is you're not having any cross-play here. You're not playing, your AD carry's not going to be playing on his phone on a bus, and that is, I think, what people were most worried about.
Man, you're not worried about your autofill support here playing on the mobile version. Oh boy.
You could probably play Janna on your phone.
Yeah, no, that one, you're not changing anything on that one. This does look pretty awesome, I will say. This is something I was relatively concerned about heading into this one. Your mobile games aren't necessarily my cup of tea and what I enjoy, and what I'd be really thinking about, League of Legends experience on mobile, that's not exactly what I'd be wanting to have. This looks pretty darn perfect on what you would want to have from a mobile League of Legends experience. And man, look at these type of animations that we got going on for these champions now. Woo. Mobile League of Legends looking even better than desktop League of Legends.
And the biggest thing is obviously they're not going to have every champion, every skin is not going to be in the game. It's going to be a limited roster, and much like other mobile games, the leveling's a little bit different. You get your ult earlier. You saw the Braum ulting there. I'm just wondering, how the heck do you play Zed on your phone? How do you play Zed?
I thought that was the most wild one to include in that little video there, showing that Zed kill with the ultimate. Man, if you're able to pull off the Zed on mobile League of Legends, you are 200 IQ.
And Teamfight Tactics also coming to mobile in 2020. Something else that people were anticipating and hoping for, and there will be out of alpha or beta for Teamfight Tactics. Things will be changing in the new year. Coming up after the break, it wasn't just game announcements from Riot. We also got a potential animated series and, of course, some gameplay changes for the actual League of Legends game. Welcome back, you beautiful souls, to League Unlock. Eric and Mark here with you guys. We went through all the plethora of game announcements that Riot did, but there was also some stuff either with their main game or, as people have been calling for, they want movies, they want TV shows, they want MMOs. Well, you're at the very least getting a new animated series here in 2020. We know that the quality of cinematics have really only increased over the years from Riot, and it's going to be amazing to see a fully fleshed out series. It looks like it's going to be a bit of an origin story for Jinx and Vi.
It is something that I am super excited about here with this animated series coming here from League of Legends. Again, you're right. It's the level of animation that we've been getting over the course of the years. They showed it kind of with the preview before this of some of the intros from some of the world songs that we've been seeing, some of the champion introductions that we've been getting, and then bam, right into the preview for this animated series. And again, a story of Vi and Jinx, the young story here. This is, again, what a lot of people that are very much into the lore about League of Legends and these type of champions, this is something that they want to see. And again, a story detailed and drawn out as beautifully as this is absolutely something I'm excited for.
Yeah, and it's going to focus obviously on Piltover and Zon, which when you think about it, it's just 2 regions of the so many that they've had. What's going to stop them from doing a bunch of these like you've seen on Netflix with Marvel movies where you've had Iron Fist, you had Luke Cage, Daredevil, all those different ones? I am fully anticipating and expecting that to be the case here with Riot. I don't know exactly where this is actually going to go on a platform. They didn't really cover that, whether it is... I can't imagine it's going to be Netflix. That's too big, right? Are we that big time?
Hey, we've seen some League of Legends stuff make their way to Netflix before. I don't think that is... I think it's too early to still speculate on something like that for this type of series. But they have, man, it's talking about that this is going to be in Piltover and Zon, and that seems to be the focus here for this story. Yet there are so many other locations here in League of Legends with so many
140 characters.
Interesting stories and lore to explore here in absolutely different scenes. This is something that I could see moving forward as a series and an idea with Riot. And we've already seen them do that with other pieces of media, and this is just the start of it.
Yeah, and you can tell they had all those teases with lore earlier this year with the maps, all the discoveries around. They were updating almost every character's biography, and now you're seeing why animated series like this and to just flesh out characters for, the 5 other games that they did announce here. Oh, and by the way, they still covered Preseason for 2020 because I don't know if you remember, but League of Legends is actually what made Riot Games, and we know the Preseason is always an absolute disaster, depending on if you enjoy and thrive in the chaos. While this year, the big changes are coming to the Elemental Dragons, and they are not only going to change how the buff works, but they're changing the map.
Oh boy.
They're changing the map. Infernal gets rid of some of the terrain. Mountain adds some. You're getting more brushes for Ocean, and Cloud, you just run faster everywhere.
You know what? At the risk of sounding boosted here, I'm pretty sure Ocean seems still relatively weak out of the comparisons here with some of these other elementals. They seem to be crazy strong. And hey, even adding on to these things, there's going to be some added effects to your champion VFX as you pick up those drakes.
Yeah, and the Elder Drake is not going to give you a burn. He's going to have an execute, cool-looking laser beam, which, if you do the math, actually works out to being somewhat similar. But the overall buffs are going to be changed, and they also added 2 little areas to run around in the top and bot lane areas. So more juking, more ganks, more fun, right, Mark?
We're trying to be just like Dota every single second here, but adding in those extra areas on the top and bottom side is going to open up a whole new avenue of strategy, champions, matchups to pick up into there. This is going to be, I think, kind of the biggest change here that might come through in this preseason. Oh boy, it's going to be a spicy one, folks.
Riot is trying to take down both Blizzard and Valve, as we've seen with TFT and copying things. So wow, good luck to them becoming the new conglomerate of video games. And they also teased the new champion, which rumors aplenty. It is going to be Lucian's wife, Senna, in the bottom lane. And they said she's going to be the first ever support marksman, which doesn't make tons of sense. You're either a support or you're a marksman. How are you both?
I don't know what to believe here exactly with Riot, because the times that we've heard them talk about a support something else before was what we heard about support assassin Pyke. And well, Pyke is an assassin.
He's a pentaflex.
I don't care what you're going to call him. He is absolutely an assassin first. Support, maybe sometimes. But this certainly is an exciting champion. It looks to bring something different, something new and fresh here to League of Legends. And again, of course, you're talking all about this lore and about the champions and characters. This is one that people have been waiting for quite a time here, this story of Thresh and Lucian here, and with having Lucian's wife in the Lantern.
Whoa, that's a big gun.
Oh boy, that ain't no pistols. That is a big cannon coming through here and looking to protect her boy Lucian.
Yeah, so basically, I mean, you can look at this video and say, okay, she has some kind of shield barrier that's going to block skill shots. Great, we don't have enough of those in the game, Braum and Yasuo. But, I mean, this definitely looks like a fun, interesting champion. And because she already has that established lore, I think people are going to be very excited to be running her in the bot lane, either with her hubby Lucian or going with Thresh, because the Thresh Lucian lane is always fun.
You know, I can't decide if this needs to be that type of lane here. I'm pretty confident with the Xayah Rakan lane. I like that one together for lore reasons.
Double date in the bottom lane.
You got the lore reasons, and of course, you get the little bit of the broken boost bonuses here to some of those abilities. I don't know if Lucian and Senna will get quite the same treatment.
I mean, it's only fair. Xayah and Rakan are going to be getting it, but she'll be hitting the Rift on the PvE later on in the month, and that's just the beginning of preseason changes, I'm sure. They also changed XP. Solo laners are getting more, junglers and bottom laners are getting less, so yes, those mid lane and top lane roams will not be fun for the bottom lane.